what your contribution, you're not going to be a silent spectator onto the project. You will also participate and see whether you can get in customers, your own friends, your office colleagues, and your own relatives, and anybody whom you feel you can bring in, and your own inputs will help you yourself. Of course, if you are not able to do that, we are there to help that out into the whole thing. So there is not going to be any liability onto the members for on the loan part, on the selling part. You are minimum going to get this, and rest of the thing management is going to be done by us. We will go on to the details which I want you to know as to what are our assumptions. The next thing what we will do is we'll ask Kareem to show you how best fit that he's trying to do with the project, and he'll show you some drawings. Subsequent to that, Devang will tell you what documentation you require for submissions to the municipal corporation, and how and what are the things you need to do to submit these documents. So he will tell you on that, and he will guide you through. And even though you have any other problems within the society, he will take it up separately for you, but not under the provisions of these costs that we have kept. Mr. Kamath, who is our chartered accountant, will tell you how an expense of 30 crores that we have kept by way of giving GST to the GST department at central level, where their clauses, if interpreted in the manner, you are liable to pay 30 crores as GST. And if it is interpreted properly, and if representations are made to the corporation that is based on mutuality or whatever definitions, we are going to try and save that 30 crores for you in future. And maybe if I'm aware that the entire industry is aware of that, and they would want to save this interpretation and save GST, or at least why should a member of the society whose society is more than 50 years old, it is absolutely in a stress condition, and it might go into a dilapidated stage, and the government has made provisions for them to stay in a better environment, why should they pay the GST? They are coming back and staying in their own premise. So we are saying this is the argument that we would put forward, and if they are getting some extra 35%, they are only coming back by way of their own laws that they have created, and this 35% extra benefit should go even without GST. So these are the things, provision that we made into the interior costing that has gone on, and this costing, if we release it 30 crores, again that costing will be a saving to you. So Kamath will throw some light on that before we end the presentation. So Kareem, I would just pass on the screen to you. I'll come back to this stage later on.
Thank you very much, Vilas, for setting up a wonderful tone of this presentation. Good evening to each and every member of the society. I am myself Kareem Panjwani. I'm the lead designer for this EcoFirst, and I'm the one who has visited the site. I will put off my cameras because then it will increase my bandwidth. So when we visited the site, we were able to meet the board members, and we were able to get the first-hand inputs from them. We again visited the site with the intentions of understanding the site in a better manner.
Kareem, your screen.
Kareem, I'm coming to that. Okay, I'm coming to that. So, so the whole idea about can everybody see my screen? Rakesh, you can see my screen?
Yes, you can make it full size now.
Yeah, it's full size now.
It's great.
Yeah. So when we visited the site, I must tell you that you have got a very fantastic site, very green, serene site, low height, low development, walkable apartments. So it was a very challenging job for us when we were looking at converting a 0.64 existing FSI into something 2.4 and 2.914 FSI. So we did a lot of due diligence, we did a lot of test fits. So my whole presentation takes you through all the details that needs to be captured at a feasibility level. We have structured our presentation where in a first we will talk about the site, its location, its proximity to the important nodes and transportation nodes, existing road network that is actually connecting to the site. We will also detail out our site observation. There is a challenge of height restriction which Vilas had already briefed you, and there are some DP reservations on the site which are immovable. That also made us to think about that, how do we deal with that? And then we'll give you a short brief analysis of areas. What we have done, we have taken a one step ahead, and more than feasibility, we thought that why not to have a vision program with us, so that we can tell you that what approaches should we take, and it will help you to take the decisions in a very informed way. Post that, we have made our approaches and program, because approaches was very important to understand, because there are two government rules under which this society could be developed. And then we'll help you with the understanding of concept design. We will also share you a brief analysis of how the phasing strategy could work out. And last, we will give you the comparative analysis for you to choose and pick from, and the way forward. So going on to a site analysis and context, when we look at this site, it is very strategically set up in an area where it is almost 1 kilometer from the metro, and almost within the range of 2.5 kilometers from the Mumbai International Airport. This site is like 6.3 acres of total area. I will not brief you because you already are living in that site, so I will just run past this information which you are already living in day in day out for so many years. So we have tried to understand that today the total flats that we need to rehabilitate are 284 number. These 284 numbers are spread out in 11 number of 11 buildings, and the composition of these 284 are like 1 BHK, 1.5 BHK and 2 BHK. The existing ground coverage right now is like just 15%, and it's like 68%, and the open space, which tells the entire story that how serene the environment is. Right now the site has been accessible from 80-meter wide military road, and there is a small road which is also now notified as a DP road, which is passing through the western side of the site, and it is like currently it is 6 meters, but probably it will get widened to 9 to 12 meters. That will also help us to have two accesses. What we understood that what are the challenges right now the society members are facing, and why it becomes very utmost to take up this step of self redevelopment. Like today, the military road has gone higher. At the entry, you almost have 1.5 foot of rains whenever it rains for a torrential rain. For even for 1.5 hour, the site becomes inaccessible. There are, due to this, the measures which have been taken has reduced the entry height to entering the height like to 1.6 meter to the apartments. And the frontage is also been limited, because of the odd shape of the site. The frontage is also been limited to almost 12-13 meter. That also offers us a challenge to understand that how to create a grand gesture to the site. We also tried to map, the green which are available over there. So there are pockets of green which are spread across. Some are sparse, some are good. And there are almost 360 trees on the site that also we need to take care of. There are some noise zones, because of the fronting of the road, and there are some existing open drains that also poses the challenges. Again, these are the site where the playground is there, entry experience is there, and the small steep internal roads are there, because there are certain level differences also on site. Now coming to the major challenge that we understand, that is this is the funnel zone that we have when we have mapped. So our Blossom Society is currently under blue zone. So within the blue zone, we are permitted to go for 57 meter of height. Okay, and our elevation is like 17 meters, so we will be able to consume our FSI in the permissible height of 40 meters. The another observation that we had is, the Vasant Oasis, which is in the red zone, which already is like approximately 70-75 meters in height. Okay, so we stand a good chance going ahead to get a good consultant of for aviation consultant, and we can actually look for having the increase in the height. So said this, we should also look at what are the DP reservation on the site. So 1 and 2 are the DP reservations on site. And this we discussed with our internal team, but these are immovable because they are part of the reservation which is also outside our site. Okay, so we cannot have the cut and move, otherwise we are trying to explore that option. This list, we have listed the setback requirements which we are going to follow in our options. Now, when we visited the site, we thought that what should be the vision of this place. Okay, so what we thought that looking at the proximity of the airport, what it should become. Okay, so Blossom Society is one of the oldest society in this region. It is almost 60-year-old. How I got a story to understand from the board members that how it got developed and how pieces by pieces it got developed, and today it has become an address. It is very easy to locate the place when you say the Blossom Society. You can it becomes a landmark. It becomes a reference. So our first call was that when we are redeveloping it, can we create the same identity? Can we create the destination for quality living? The living which is very modern but at the same time affordable and can give a quality life to each and every member of the society. It could also celebrate the community with the social spaces like club, like swimming pool, and it could offer a serene landscape to live and play. Now, pandemic has taught us of social distancing, but at the same time, we cannot distance ourselves from the nature. And so our planning process starts at, how do we curate the landscape by creating the pockets, like in the pandemic situation where the social distancing is also there, but still the visibility is there. Okay. And what I understood that, there are a lot of people, those who were like senior citizens. So it becomes very imperative, like in this our vision plan, to take care of their personalized spaces, and which is why we are trying to understand that what kind of landscape also should be there. We also need to create a grand gesture at the entry which announces the arrival experience in the Blossom Society, which we call as a Blossom Park. And this experience should not stop at the entry level. We feel that this experience should continue till you enter into your lobby and should continue till your house. And the age, which is right now we are talking about, can we have some active age by creating or infusing some program where convenient shopping should come there. Okay, so the society members does not have to go outside and things can happen within the vicinity. Also, the parking requirement throws up a challenge of dealing with the podiums. So we also thought not necessary that it should be a horizontal green, but also how can we create a vertical green, dovetailing with the whole landscape of the buildings and the environment. We should also understand that to make this project feasible, there is certain amount of FSI that we need to carve out for commercial, and then this commercial could be something of the nature that we go later in this stage and decide that how we to create the anchors or the office buildings. But it should create an imageability in addition to our development. And we are also trying to look at when the interiors of the buildings are concerned, we do not leave any stone unturned to create the quality life of the personalized spaces. So cumulatively, what I would conclude that we are here focusing on creating a sustainable and smart community for providing a quality life to each and every member of the society, as well as somebody who is going to come out from outside and going to reside with us. Said that we should, the next step was to understand the approach and the program. So what Vilas has also emphasized, and what I had also started my speech with the opening note was, the possible approaches are majorly governed by two factors. First, the FSI on the choice of the redevelopment scheme that you need to choose, and the permissible height. So two approaches offers us two development scenarios or two approaches. So the first approach offers us the FSI of 2.4, which mounts up to 75,000 square meter of FSI, and it needs a component of rehab, free sale within the 40 meters of consideration. Second option is a 33-9, which is a cluster redevelopment, which offers FSI of 4, but it mounts up to 1,14,350 square meter of area. Apart from rehab and free sale, one of the major component that gets added to this scheme is Mahada. This is only possible if we go up to 100 meters height, subject to the NOC from aviation. So taking these two approaches into consideration, okay, we started developing our conceptual ideas. Now, when we started developing our conceptual ideas, we do a lot of sketching and a lot of test fit for setting up the blocks, considering the climatic condition, what should be the orientation of the buildings, how you get the natural light, and how do you create the courtyards, and how do you create the greens, and how do you create the best views. Okay, so with this test fit, we did a lot of deliberation on that. We spent a lot of time on this. We concluded on three concepts. So the first concept was the courtyard planning, which is a very traditional Indian planning where you have a central courtyard and buildings are covering or edging this green. Second was the tower in the park. Okay, this is a very fancy modernism concept where the towers are being set up in a larger green. So you go little higher and leave the ground open. The third option is a perimeter block. This concept was very well brought up in different cities and in different environment. So based on these three concepts, we tried to apply these three concepts in 33.7b as well as 33.9. Only first concept, that is courtyard planning, we were able to fit entire FSI in providing 33.7b. Rest, all the two concepts were not working on 33.7b, but they were working on 33.9. Barring said that, if by opportunity of extending our height, going up from 40 meters to somewhere around 70 or 100 meters, all these three options can also be considered in 33.7b. Okay, so that is the reason that we are presenting it now. Okay, so please do consider this option valid for 33.7b, except the other two would need the NOC of 100 meter, and 33.9 we are validly fitting the FSI of 4 in all the three options. So let's move on to approach 1, that is the courtyard option for option 1. So right now here in 33B, we are getting the FSI of 75,256 square meter of area. Okay, we are able to consume 100% of area with the split of commercial 20% and residential 80%. So now let's see that how we are able to fit. So we are able to fit this entire FSI in 6 buildings. The office is awarding to the frontage. Okay. And we have got an amazing amount of green open space in between. Okay, all these buildings would be 13 levels. We will have 728 units in total, out of which 284 would be rehab and 444 would be sale. The office component, which is approximately 50,000 square meter, would be consumed at the rate of 2,000 square meter per floor in 8 levels. We will approximately need 2 basements and 1 podium to accommodate our entire requirement of car park. The typology of A1, B1, B2 and B3 would be 8 to a core, whereas C1 and C2 would be 12 to a core. We will have 56 number of units per floor. We also, again, we took one step ahead, like we said that, can we have a certain amount of ideas about the landscape, that how the amenities are going to be provided to the society. So you can see that, we have provided amenities like kids play area, plazas, club, health park, shopping track, basketball court. So this all amount of area is going to be accommodated very nicely between these buildings. Okay, and then this is the section, this is a schematic section where you will see that how these buildings, how the floors are being stacked one above the other within, and how the parking are being accommodated in the 14 levels of section with 2 basements. One of the very important thing that we want you to understand here is that we have critically understood the typologies of the units existing over there now, and we have concluded in the type of R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5, which mounts up to the total unit of 284. Now what we have done here is that we have tried to accommodate all 284 units in building A, B1 and B2. You can see the configuration of the buildings in the given diagram below. Okay, this is the 3 diagrams which explains that how each and every unit is getting dovetailed in our existing plan. So when you say, for an example, let's take R1. So R1 is currently 469 square feet. Okay, we are providing 650 square feet of area. Now let's look at where R1 fits into our units per floor. So you can see that this is R1, we need, this is R1 and R1 and this is R1 and R1. So we need 6 units per floor to compensate the total number of 73 units. So similarly, we have done all the mapping of each and every unit that needs to be accommodated, and we have found a probable location. These are all probable, these are all indicative. As we move ahead in the project, we will be able to understand how to accommodate each and every detail. So now with this, I will move ahead and so what we have done next step, we have also made a small section for you to better to understand that how they are going to get vertically stacked. We call it an open section. So when you cut this open section, this is 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 2. So you can understand that, and these gray areas are going to be the cell tower, which you can identify in the master plan. After that, when we were working, we did not want to do any hypothetical work where, like at a later date, when we go on to this project, we find the challenges of fitting the units. So you can see that, the 2 BHK typology, which is existing R1, R2 and R3 typology, which ranges between like 400 and something to 600. So the current carpet area would be 650 to 700 and 900 square feet. This is somewhere going to be a tentative layout that will be fitting into these units. Similarly, we also have done some test fits of 3 compact BHK, which we will be able to fit in here. So you can see that, this is for R4 and R5 typology, which is carpet area ranges between 100,000 to 1,200 square footage of area. You can see a key plan where, you can see where they are going to fit. After this, we have also done our understanding about that, how the whole area is going to look from the sky. So these are actual, we have worked out the facades in terms of, to give you a better understanding of look and feel, rather than just giving you the financial or the legal. We thought that, let's take a step ahead and help you to understand the look and feel of the entire environment. So you can see that these are the actual buildings that you are going to depending upon what do you choose and how do you pick and how do we develop it further. These are some indicative facades that we have developed. So these are all 13 story towers, and then this is like 11 story of commercial. And this is what something which you are going to look at from the frontage when you are walking on down the military road. You are going to see this. And we believe in a very simplistic approach and the straight lines. So we are trying to give the sunshades on the vertical faces, which are going to create a nice interplay of light and shadows within your height, within your rooms. After this, let's go on to approach 2. Now the approach 2 option 1 and approach 1 option 1 are quite similar. Only the fact that the FSI goes from 75,000 square meter to 1,14,000 square meter. So now how do we deal with it? Okay, so now the first assumption is that we will have to go little higher, okay, provided we get the height, permissible height. So here everything is going to remain the same, okay, but if you see the floor, the parking areas and the number of floors are going to go little higher. We were having 13 floors over there. Here we are having 14 and 21. Now why 14 and 21? So we also need to have some interesting massing in the environment to not to have everything like creating a wall on all the sides, but we want to have a volume play of the volume, architecture play of the volume, which creates more interest for your development. And now here the number of units are going from like some odd 700 to 980. Car parks are also going from like odd 1200 to 2000. So these are the changes that are going to go from when we move from 33.7B scheme to 33.9, that is a cluster development. The landscape strategy remains the same, so I think that I should skip that. So here in section, I would say that this is the variation in the height that I was talking about. Now these levels are including the podiums. We'll need almost 3 podiums and 3 basements to cover up the parking. Similarly, the same you can understand that I have given you a previous example also that how R1 and R2 are going to stand here. So every detail is been given over here and everything is been worked out to the T, where each unit what is existing and where it is going to go and fit into the layout. So these 2 buildings are going to the Mahada. Here Mahada component is going to be higher, whereas on the left hand side there are the free sale sections. Now you can see that like what we were seeing on the 13th floor, now suddenly you are seeing this variation and you can see the dynamics of the whole facade, that how your whole environment is going to look. These are going to be a fantastic views, majestically capturing the views all around the environment. As you go higher you will get the better views. This is the bird's eye view that how your whole environment is going to look. And this is when you are going from the military road, you will see this whole massing. Again, as you go higher, you see more majestic views. Now let's come to the option 2 of approach 2. That is tower in the park. Now the tower in the park is a very interesting concept where we have identified 5 towers, okay, which are going to sit on the podium with creating the interlocking spaces of the greens. Here we will have an advantage of having all towers individual, not connected to each other, okay, but to accommodate the humongous FSI of 90,000 square meter, you will have to go little higher, that is 32 floors. We also have a lesser number of units per floor, so we will ultimately have a section of 3 basements for the parking, 3 podiums for the parking, plus 32 floors. Here, one of the interesting things that we tried to capture or that we tried to change the location of the office, where it was initially on the military road. Now we have taken it to the DP road, which might get widened and we might have an access to the office. So completely it is getting segregated. So now let's look at the landscape concept. Again, the landscape concept are the same, but we are finding it very interesting, the pockets of the green that are going to get created. We also have an interesting jogging track, which is forming the loop to the podium and creating the fantastic healthy environment. This is going to be the section where you have 33, 34 odd floors, which will be a uniform section. There is no variation in the section because we need to consume the FSI. These are some facades, and these are some lookalike. These are not lookalike. These are actual facades that we have developed for you based upon our individual towers. You can see the phases of when you are entering into the development. This is a phase that you will see, which is now the existing entry road, which takes you to your office, society office now. This is again the bird's eye view that how it will look from the above. That takes us to the option 3, which is the concept of perimeter block. This is very famous in the Barcelona. The entire Barcelona has been built on the perimeter box block, and a lot of people have seen the variation. A lot of buildings have been seen the variation of the perimeter block according to the architect's definition. So this is the tentative layout that is emerging out of our master plan and the amount of unit. Here we are also having an interesting office building that is getting generated at the rear, which is again the same location as we showed in the previous location. The parking numbers and the heights are not varying much. Only 30 meter of the 30 floors is going to be an average height. So what we did was, to create some interesting variations, we started dropping the 3 or 4 floors from 34 levels to 30 levels to 27 levels, and all the terraces of these drops we can use very well for the viewing galleries or landscape or sit outs, which is a very interesting concept, I feel. Similarly, we were not talking of our hats. We had done our due diligence. We had understood that what kind of unit plans would be required to achieve this plan. So this is the typology of 2 BHK, 700 to 800 square feet, 3 BHK, 1,215, 1,115 square feet. And these are the interesting facades, the most dynamic facades that you can see here, where you can see the roofs are been jetting out, and there are the drops and very interesting environment, and the commercial facade is also getting created. As I said, the terraces could be very well used for the landscape and for the viewing galleries. So this is what you will see as a roof. This is again a very interesting facade which is emerging, where verticality has been expressed very nicely with the clean lines. And now after this, let's talk about the phasing program. So as Sapur was saying that we should try and explore the option of how we do not necessarily move each and every individual house out of the society, but we should try and explore to save every penny for the society. And that is the reason that we thought that what can we do in phase 1, what can we do in phase 2. What we can do that the yellow buildings that you are seeing on the rear, on the north side, we can tentatively try to start our construction over there. And then in phase 3, once this, that's it. And then we move on to phase 4, where we build all the 3 areas, and then we come on to the commercial, because understand commercial is not going to fetch any value right now. Okay, once we have to first rehabilitate our people and then move on to, because this will be an investment. So that was the reason that we took this approach of going ahead. What we did was, we have shown you a lot of options. So it was very prudent at the end to put all this option together and analyze pros and cons of this option to help you make a judicious decision. So you can see that what I have shown you a while ago. Here all the 4 options have been mapped. So approach 1, that is 33.7. We are having a building footprint of 28%, green cover of 57%. Probably some would be on podium, some would be on ground. Building height would be 40 meters. Number of floors would be 2 basements, 1 podium and 13 levels. Total number of buildings we see here 6. Unit plans, unit per week. Total units are 758. Here, the most striking feature that you need to take a note is when you move in different two schemes, the residential density over here is somewhere around 3,276%, counting on 728 residential at the rate of family size of 4.5. Dynamic changes and the population moves on to 4. It also have the same kind of density, but will entire FSG floor this similar option for the approach. Going ahead, I guess it's very including note on this, that how do we go way forward. The society through the board members. We have to understand the plans and the views and all the concept is that as we move to the design concept stage, we would want to have a stakeholder consultation meeting where every member of the society would be invited and will be happy to hear them out. Okay, we believe in inclusive planning. We'll take their opinion, will take their suggestion, work at Eco First. That is the way we believe at Tata's. Okay, based on that, we will detail out the unit plans. What I showed you now, those were the most tentative unit plans based upon the test fits. We'll look at the locations of the amenities. We'll look at the sustainability and accessibility parameters, which we have an amazing amount of work that needs to do in these two parameters. Building facade detailing, right now I have shown you 3 options. We'll choose. If you do not like, if you like, we'll take it further. Okay, if you want more, we'll provide more. We'll work out the circulation, because 4,000, 3,000, 4,000 people living in that campus is going to throw a huge amount of challenges in terms of circulation, pedestrian movement, car parking, firefighting, everything has to be dealt. Then we'll look at the area statement in detail, because right now the area statements are based upon our certain assumptions. Once we go for the approval, we'll have a detailed understanding about the area statements. And then we'll look at the parking challenges, that whether you want to make a basement or whether you want to make a podium, how do you want to park it, how do you not want to park it, and then we'll work out around the landscape strategy. With this, I conclude my presentation, and I hand it over back to Vilas. Vilas, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, Vilas. Can you hear me? Rakesh, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Karim. We had this in between internally when we discussed all these things. We had discussed that there could be quite many other options possible. Mainly from the point of view that we are wanting to go to civil aviation and reduce this density factor and get this civil aviation thing also done. We have factored the provisions that we need to make for getting extra height. That also is already factored into the feasibility study. So a little taller. It is slightly dwarfed right now, but when we go at least 3 or 4 floors taller, the building starts looking all the more elegant in the building. So we'll try to do that as far as design is concerned. So this is one part. The entire intention behind this design was to see whether we are able to fit and utilize our entire FSI, which we have done, and we have found that we are able to fit all the FSI, and tentatively we know the general layout of things. We can always go for improvements. We are going to improve it further, and as Karim said, that we'll have a one-to-one interaction, and by the time this police permissions and all are available, we'll have a one-to-one interaction. We'll distribute some forms to you and to ask you exactly what you want within your building. And then everybody, right from the children to the housewife to all the members, everybody has got their own requirement. Everybody has got their own idea of their own home. So it is going to be very interesting to see the various variations and the maximum input that we get and the maximum points that we incorporate into our project will be really a good exercise, and we would love to do that. So L&T will be using certain formwork systems. There are certain technologies that we are thinking about using into this project. Basically, the flexibility within the flats, how we are going to do it, how are we going to arrange the walls. So if we do some kind of a flat slab construction or some kind of a thing, so people will be able to change within their own houses. They might be able to convert one more room for 2 BHK. They might land up in doing 2.5 BHK within the same area. Yet, and how to do it and all that, so that we'll incorporate that into the design stage in the RCC structure by avoiding a lot of beams, by keeping it flat slab, and we should be able to put partitions and have that privacy for individual rooms. Also, if the flats are bigger, supposing you have a flat of 1,000 square foot, which is a 3 BHK flat, and if you are able to centrally divide it into 500 each, and if there are two brothers staying there, they can use the same flat and stay separately in a 500 square foot apartment. Those options also we have thought of, and will provide that for you, so that some building we may have to do according to that. So let's see one or two videos that we are trying to think for the project, and we'll go on with that afterwards. So can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
I just want to put some five minutes, just the videos, because it'll be self-explanatory. And this is a MyOne technology, which over the last 30 years has gained a lot of prominence, in fact, all over the world. I have been to this place in Kuala Lumpur, and I've seen this factory myself, and L&T, and we were one of the first to introduce that in India. We later took it up to Middle East, this technology, and in the Institute of Engineers, we made a presentation to all the developers, to all the architects, structural consultants, to emphasize that we should try and have this system all over India to make India more sustainable and make lovely buildings in India. And it also achieves our mantra of faster, cheaper, and better. So you can just have a look at this video and see how fast we can achieve results. And please let me know if the noise is okay, sound is okay.
Vilas, we may not hear the sound. I guess there won't be sound.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Vilas,
Yeah.
what members have been suggesting is that they would like to wind up by 8:15. So, and also videos noise not being heard will not make sense. So we can proceed ahead.
Okay, just
Hello, Mr. Bhela sir. Bhela sir,
Yes.
you complete your presentation as per your schedule. So those
Okay.
members who wish to go, they can go early, and recording can be shown to them later on if they are interested. But you continue your program. You complete as per your schedule. No interruption will be given, even though some members may say that is their individual opinions. So don't give heed to any individual opinions as far as presentation is concerned. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's very common sense. You can easily see it. You don't require a sound.
Hello, sorry, but since this is a YouTube video, in general, YouTube allows you to turn on subtitles. So you can turn on subtitles of the video so that at least people who want to understand what they're saying, they can read the subtitles. So you'll have an option to turn on subtitles. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, that Vilas, you can press on that. Correct.
You can see the surface finish once you record it. So there is no need to do any internal brickwork. There is no need to do any elevation work afterwards. The entire slab is cast at one go. The staircase, columns, beams, and slabs, they are all done at one go. So there is a considerable saving in time, and also there is going to be the quality of finish of this product.
Ikaw yung nagugulo. My love. What is that? Where you're going?
Hey, Dada, you have Croydon's number or what?
Where she's going?
I'm taking her. Dada, you have Croydon's number?
Oh. Hey, Meena also came.
Dada.
No, I don't. Aline's and first time born. My love. She's waiting.
I'm going.
Acha. Hi Meena. How are you? After many days I saw you. Where is Yad? And your new building is okay? You like? Where is your face mask? Forgot. Achha.
technology where it is advanced from not part building, like you do column first, then you do the beams and slabs and staircase later on. Takes a lot of time, a lot of labor, and today's time the labor saving of hands in the industry in modern is very important because such skilled laborers are not at all available nowadays. So L&T is also, you must have seen this video which is happening in a lot of WhatsApp thing, but it's absolutely true, which they would utilize for demolition of the buildings. We made some provision. And the 6 months.
Vilas, you are breaking, Vilas, in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. So I'm saying that the technology that we have, the nation, this is absolutely being done and carried out. L&T has forwarded this image video to us, saying that we could adopt this technology even amidst such an area where so many buildings are adjacent to each other. We will not have any problems using this technology. And their job. So that's one of the technologies that we are trying to use there. The other one is the last video is about backwards. So if we do a flat slab construction, So these are the technologies for a very large sites. Imagine how many agencies go inside a bathroom to complete the works. Right from the masonry, it's a different agency. The waterproofing, the plumber, the electrician, the tiler, and the electrical fittings again back. So many activities happen to make one bathroom for the project, and so many labor required. So if it is factory made, then everything is controlled. The waterproofing is controlled. The bath pod is just lifted by crane. It is lifted to a height of more than 35-40 meters already in Mumbai, in Pune. So we can utilize that technology. It works out quite economical for a large size project. So we're going to look at this option. It's going to save time. It's going to give us a very quality product which will be directly lifted and put into the place, and only the vertical stacks are then connected to the bathroom. We require to do a little bit of provisions in the design. We have to sink the toilet by about 3 inches or so that works can be coordinated. So these are the technologies that we could use in speeding up the project, and also to eliminate the possibility of shortage of labor and skilled labor, and is one of the controls that we can do by using mechanization and the technology that is available today in India. So that's the thing that we want to bring in. So now I think we can ask Devang. Devang, are you there?
Yes, Vilas, I'm here.
So Devang is our advocate, and he would just enlighten you as to what are the documents that we require. You should keep it ready, or if it's not ready, then what needs to be done, so that all our submissions don't get delayed. And today itself, because we do so much of work and we find that documents are not in place, this is something that we don't want to go ahead with, and then the feasibility will have to be worked out once again. So let us. There are very basic requirements, and most of them know what it is. And anything more that you want to add, Devang, you can add. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hello everyone.